Let's do it. Hope. I don't know who subbed. All right, Solovix, thank you. Thanks for subbing. Okay. Let's talk about the patch. To begin with, one important thing to remember is that I've not read this through yet, so this is going to be the first time I'm going to make mistakes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. Experience bonus for kill streaks reduced from 30 to 100 times level to 20 times 90 times level. So it's just less. So basically before they reduce gold kill streaks for like the gold you get from killing people that were on kill streaks, now they're reducing the experience amount as well. So reducing resources from the game to slow it down just a little bit. Okay, boots of speed, power treads, arcane boots, phase boots, tranquil boots, guarding greaves. They're all getting movement speed reductions. So remember, this is a revision. That they're reversing the movement speed change that they had before. Thanks, Legit Truth. So basically, in the long past, boots of speed were always a set value of movement speed. They got changed to percentage, and it kind of fucked up the game a lot in terms of win rates because heroes that naturally had low movement speed didn't get as much value from boots of speed. Now that it's a static amount, that means that really slow heroes like Pudge or Ogre Magi, they are going to get a bigger movement speed. Also, it means that heroes that have percentage-based movement speed increasers will get more benefit from boots now. Thanks, After Nick, than they did before. So Ogre is probably the best example. He had a little bit of a low movement speed. Boots of speed gave him percentage, and Bloodlust gave him percentage. So whereas before, Ogre Magi could get really fast with Tranquil Boots, he was not able to do it. I'm sorry, where he would get a lot of movement speed from Tranquil Boots before, he stopped getting that when they changed it to a percentage. So Windlace became stupid value on basically all heroes because Windlace would be increased by your boots. So Windlace is still going to be good probably, but it's going to be a little bit less good than it was before, I would argue. So, but we'll see what happens. So 45 movement speed versus 15%. Where is the exact value that becomes better or worse? Let's make a fucking spreadsheet. I'll start here. Screen cap. Boop. Boop. And then we'll make this bigger. Okay. Let's say 275 equals this plus 5. Drag this big boy down. All right, nobody's that fast. I think the fastest is 330 right now for base movement speed. 0.15. Okay. So for slow heroes at 275 movement speed, you'd only get 41.25 movement speed. Fast heroes would get 49.5, but now it is just going to be 45s all the way down. So if your hero has over 300 movement speed, you get slightly less movement speed than before. If your hero is below 300 movement speed, then you will get a little bit more. So they're kind of small numbers, but 7 or 8 movement speed makes a big difference when you're already at 330. So this will be a little bit of a buff to make slow heroes better. Let's turn this off. Okay, phase boots speed active is reduced to 20%. The reason is because if it gives a percentage and a percentage, that means that this number is always based on your base movement speed unless you get like phase or something, or windlaces or something. But now that it gives a passive here, in fact, let's open the spreadsheet again. So let's say you are, I guess what we can do is delete these and say, how do I want to represent this? Equals this times 0.1.15. So this is your movement speed with the phase boots. And then can add equals this plus this times 0.22. Is I think how it works. So when you use phase, you'd get this fast. But now I have to make a third column. Or I could do... But I didn't screen region this very well. I'll just put it down here, I guess. It's not going to be great, or better yet, I'll move this over. So you will have to believe that that's there. And this will be this plus 45. No, there's like no way to do this without fucking it up a little bit. It's not wide enough, basically. Uh, 1.2. I'll just check the numbers. Basically, the numbers are almost the same. Here, these are the two numbers that are basically relevant. So this is 275 movement speed down to 330 movement speed. And basically the numbers are almost exactly the same. They're mostly the same at lower movement speeds, but at low movement speed, it's actually a lot better. This is with using phase active, new phase. This is new phase, this is old phase with old movement speed. So you get a movement speed boost if you're a really slow hero and you have phase boost, more than you used to. But if you're a fast hero, then the phase difference is almost the same. Virtually indistinguishable. So buff the phase for slow heroes is what I just figured out. Cool? Yeah, CM phase boots potentially. Well, it's only 10% on range heroes. And so it's also this does make phase boots slightly better on range heroes than before, because they still have a 10% buff to range heroes, but melees went from 22 to 20. They weren't super specific here. But yeah, phase boots on range will be slightly better. Cool. Math. Alright, Tranquils give 75 movement speed now, which is fucking insane. That's super high. I don't know how much wind laces are, but Tranquil boots on Ogre Magi, for example, are going to be busted. There's a small, slightly higher chance that you'll see Tranquil boots on cores, I'm guessing, but we'll see. Guarding Greaves to 50 movement speed, slightly higher than the 15. So that's why they have slightly more. Boots of Travel changed to 110, 130. Those numbers are crazy high, but that's really how good it was. Spider Legs changed to 65 movement speed. So that gives you a good reference point of how good spider legs are. I don't know, seeing these numbers instead of percentage just seems easier to me, you know? Force Boots changed to 115. Woodland Striders are 140. Yasha is changed back to movement. So this basically, they're kind of doing what they did before. This is what it used to be. I don't know necessarily why they're reverting this fully. Maybe it makes it easier to buff and change heroes, because you can buff them around movement speed a little bit easier. But I mean, they did remove movement speed for agility type heroes, so maybe it's easier for them to control agi heroes with this. I mean, it's not necessarily just because of the agility movement speed change. Like, you could have buffed, like, you don't have to change all the movement speed stuff back and do this. You could change it all back and then say, like, take all agility heroes and give them 5 movement speed, you know? Or give more depending on if they need more for win rates, you know? You don't have to do this. So I'm trying to say, like, I'm not sure what the reason that they're doing this, but they're probably doing it for a good reason. Maybe they felt it was a mistake at the beginning. Remove neutral items? No way, dude. Neutral items are good for the game, in my opinion. They add another layer of item choice. I think it's fine that you only have one slot instead of multiples. I think that's helped the game. Hooray! But I'm happy with it. Anyways, so basically these all used to give 8%. Sanji and Yasha used to always give more. Did it used to be 12? I think SNY used to be 12% actually. Not 10. Am I crazy? Might be wrong. But 10% movement speed advantage is like 30 movement speed basically. That's more than that because you're going to get a little bit extra from boots. So this should make heroes like Drow faster, but we'll see what her base movement speed gets changed to. Okay, Trident changed to 10% as well. Drum of Endurance speed bonus reduced by 1%, part of the boot changes. Is it part of it? Oh, because otherwise it'd be a little too good, because you're getting base movement speed basically. So because you're getting a little bit more base movement speed, they're taking 1% away to make the drum active, not busted. Spirit Vessel provides a negative aura that reduces health regen, heals, and lifesteal by 20% and a 1200 AoE. Health regen, heals, and lifesteal. So just owning Spirit Vessel will reduce the healing of enemies nearby. Soul Release debuff regen reduction reduced from 60 to 35. Very interesting. No longer requires windlace, nor provides movement bonus. And the recipe costs increase in cost. So the item itself doesn't make you slightly faster anymore. It's the same cost, and it does less debuff, but it still does a lot of debuff. Because if you use the soul release and with the aura, we're talking about a 55% health regen, heal, and lifesteal decrease. So basically, Spirit Vessel is just straight up better, in my opinion. The movement speed reduction is a little bit problematic for cores, I would argue, because they can really utilize, like, they're pretty happy to have that. But I don't know, this is really sick. Yeah, will morph players love this? The morph players will not love this, actually. If anything, it's better, I dare say. I mean, the item is in some ways worse, but just decreasing regen by 20% is pretty nice over the course of a long fight. That's absolutely valuable. I mean, this could be a lot of heal. It's going to be, everyone heals. Everyone uses wands and stuff. It's like always active, so it's going to be better for worse players. It's going to be better if you're losing. If you don't have charges, it's going to be more effective than it was before. I think this is kind of a cool change, because it basically, like, what's important about this and what makes this cool, actually, and I think this is maybe one reason why they buffed it, is because it makes it more usable against teams that don't necessarily have super heal mechanics, you know? Like, if you're playing against a Morphling, obviously Spirit Vessel is incredible. But if you're not playing against a Morphling, you're probably not going to buy Spirit Vessel, because it's not like it hard counters anyone on the enemy team super hard. But it makes it more of an aura item, basically. So it'll still be good, and it still does a lot of damage used against heroes. But nobody really buys Spirit Vessel just because they're like, I want to do a lot of damage. They buy it usually, almost always, because they want to reduce healing on some annoying hero. So just buying Spirit Vessel casually is going to make more sense. It's going to be a little bit better as like an aura item on like offlane heroes for that reason, because it is going to make it easier to just keep it and stay alive. Because over the course of the battle, there's a lot of regen going on for 5 heroes, and now you're affecting that 5 times. Like, if you think of it this way, if I use Spirit Vessel before on one guy, and let's say it worked the whole fight, that one guy gets 60% less heal. But now if it applies against 5 heroes, there's 100% less heal in the game. Sort of. That's assuming that all 5 heroes have the same amount of life. But you could basically buy Spirit Vessel against Chen now, or Dazzle, or anyone else that does AoE heal, and it's going to be just straight up better than it was before. In terms of AoE heal. In terms of single target heal, it can still do that too. Almost as good. So there's almost no way that I don't see this as a buff. And it definitely makes the item more generally good, which I think is good. So pretty happy with this. I think this is very cool. I'm sure there's still a lot better items to buy. Like you can buy mech for 1k gold less, for example. But if the mech heal now does 50 less HP, that's kind of cool. All right, Ring of Basilius recipe cost increase, Headdress recipe cost increase, because the items are just too good, basically. People are still buying them consistently. Pro players buy them constantly. They'll start with them. It's going to be harder to do that now. They'll be less likely to do so. Soul Ring recipe also increased. I've been seeing a lot of purchases on it on a lot of pro players too. Vlad's lifesteal reduced by 5. That probably needed to happen. 25% lifesteal is crazy. The recipe cost also nerfed by 50 gold. So now it's a little bit expensive again. People will probably still buy it, but it's not going to be as nice. Mech costs increased by 50 as well. So getting a little bit expensive again. Pipe of Insight nerfed again. Now up to 1200 gold. It used to be an 800 gold recipe. Now it goes up to 1200. And Lotus Orb mana cost increased by a little bit. Silver Edge no longer reduces regen. But it still debuffs heals. Keep that in mind. So that's kind of interesting. I totally forgot about that aspect of Silver Edge. I almost never buy this item. But it will still reduce heals by 50%. Yeah, Pipe has gone up in cost by what, 500 you said? No, it's only 400, I think. It went from 800 to 1200. So that's 400 gold. But still, it's like a 15% gold increase. You don't think it still reduces heals? I mean, it says down there, debuff now reduces regen and heals by 50%. And now it says no longer reduces regen. It doesn't explicitly say heals. It should still affect heals. which is fine. Pretty useful against somebody like Necro, for example, if you want to go on him. I have Scotty, reduces all regen, heals, and lifesteal by 35%. Okay. Attacks lower enemy movement and attack speed, and reduces heals, health regeneration, and lifesteal by 35% for 3 seconds. Scotty is very rarely purchased these days, actually. Almost nobody buys it. It's just not that valuable for the HP, basically. There's a lot of other better items, like they'll buy Satanic or Heart or something. And generally people, there's enough mana regen, I feel like. So people don't really need Scotty for the raw mana. But a reducing regen, heals, and lifesteal is very good. This could be very effective against a lot of tanky heroes. Very effective against heroes with wands. But definitely against like Scotties and stuff, or Satanics. 35% reduction is a huge deal. So this could be good. Nullifier debuff is no longer dispellable. So before, if you'd throw it on somebody, it could be dispelled. Nullifiers are really good. I don't buy it often, but it's quite good. Could be used often. Blade Mail Intelligence nerfed by 2. Nature's Prophets will be a little bit sad. Okay, Alchemist getting nerfs. Grievel's Greed cap reduced by 2, tiny bit, and the base, the gold base reduced by 1. That means that if you get your first last hit, that it won't increase as fast. Is that correct? The base gold bonus. The base and the extra gold bonus used to scale up differently. I think that's why it looks like a weird number. But basically means like catapulting into high amounts of gold is going to take a little bit longer. The Grievel's Greed Bounty Rune multiplier is also going to scale less bad. So this is just because there's less gold in the game. So Alchemist technically gets more as a result. Firefly getting a movement speed nerf by 3% late game. Part of the boots changes. Okay, so he's effectively the same as what they're trying to say. Which sounds about right, because if you get a percentage-based movement speed from Firefly and you buy Boots of Travel like you do, Boots of Travel now give you a lot of raw movement speed, so Firefly would make you really fast. We'll see Thirst rebalance as well. Part of the hard thing is it's a little bit hard to see if these percentages are based on win rates or if they're just adjusting for if they're trying to buff. But it kind of seems like these are mostly balance changes and not trying to buff or nerf. Except for like the gold ones. Track is going to be reduced, of course. This is another one we pointed out the other day when we talked about the gold change. If there's less gold on the map, getting it from artificial sources like Track is better. Track and Grievel's Greed nerfed. Brewmaster Primal Split permanent immolation damage increased by a decent amount of 5 damage. That's a 25% increase. And later on, 25% increase, and later on 25. Okay, so it just does 25% more damage. And the fire split actually does quite a lot of damage. That one it usually does the most damage from what I've seen when I look at damage charts at the end. So this could help Brewmaster a little bit, help him get kills. I think this this buff is fine. It's nice. Will it change the hero? Still very teamfight focused, but it's fine. Broodmother spin web movement speed reduced by 5% at all levels, so a little bit of a nerf, but part of the boot changes, so still the percentages are still massive. I can't help but feel that this is busted. Like, this is definitely busted. This needs to be reduced more than 5. Am I crazy? Let's get the spreadsheets. Let's delete all this shit now that we've learned from it. Okay, so here's your... I think Brute is slow as fuck. He's like 270 or something. So before, you would get a 270 times 70 equals this times 1.7. So you would get 495 movement or 459 movement speed from level 4 spin web before. And now, without boots, this is this times 1.65. So little movement speed reduction, about 14, okay? But if you buy boots before, it's 270 equals this times 1.15. So you'd be 310. But you would still get this difference added to you.
Hooray!
189 equals this plus this. So if you bought boots before, you would become basically 500 movement speed. But now the way it works is this plus 45. And it's this times 1.65. So you are straight up just faster. Brood is buffed here, without a doubt. If you buy boots, you're buffed. If you don't buy boots, you're nerfed a little bit. But that's 20 movement speed. How much does Ags do? Scepter movement speed still goes up to 90. So if we do the same thing, basically, with Ags, it's going to be 590. Before it would have been but this did this equals this times 1.9 0.9 plus this. Yeah, I think that's right. So yeah, does it cap at 550 or does it do remove movement speed cap? Removes movement speed limit. Yeah, this is just, you're just straight up better. So before with Ags you would go 553. Now you're gonna go almost 600. So this is a buff to Brood. What? I heard you barking. It's fine. You're fine. Okay, Brood buff. Straight up Brood buff. I guess we have to do the math on a lot of this shit. Chaos Knight, Phantasm cooldown reduced again, thank God. It's basically always been CK's problem. I get that they don't want to make him just like another illusion hero or whatever, but 125 is just, or 145 is just so punishing. Chen Divine Favor health regen reduced. This is the regen that you give to yourself and allies. They're reducing it again. The heal increase is still here, but clearly playing something like Spirit Vessel against Chen or getting a Scotty is going to make him less effective. Clinkz getting Searing Arrows buff, 30 damage at level 1. It's fucking crazy good. The mana cost is going to go up a lot though, which is fair at the same scale. So basically you're still spending the same mana per damage to attack with Searing Arrows, which is pretty important. It's going to make it a little bit harder to abuse creep aggro because technically your ability to spend mana to attack without drawing aggro is a little bit worse. Does that make sense? Because every time you attack in a creep wave, you have to spend the mana to throw an attack for free. And if you do 50 damage, you're only spending 6 mana to attack. But now when you do, it's going to be 9 mana. So, but if you're just attacking normally, you're still getting the same damage per mana out of it. So, it's a buff. It's a buff for sure. It's a 10 damage increase. But it's slightly weaker in one exact scenario. Yeah, 10 for keep in mind that Clinkz's base stats are god awful. He's got like 416 health or something at level 1. It's really bad. I think it's really low. It's like in the 400s. And he's pretty slow too. But Clinkz is actually just straight up buff now, actually. His win rate's going to go up a lot, actually. Because he has a movement speed bonus from his third skill, which gives him, I believe, 44% movement speed. Spreadsheets! Delete all this garbage. Clinkz is, let's go check what his movement speed is. 290. Was it 290 before? I don't know. Probably was, because they haven't changed it here. Okay, 290 equals this times 1.15. That's your boots movement speed. Equals this times 0.44 plus this. All right, so before you would be 461 movement speed. What will you be now? Let's find out. Equals this plus 45 equals this times 1.44. Wow, he just got a buff of 21 movement speed when he's invisible. Huge change. These are huge changes, guys, genuinely. Because even if he gets reduced by dust movement speed, you're still going to be pretty damn fast. Now with Ags, does Ags make you faster too? Probably does, doesn't it? Oh, yes. 75. Clinkz. Copy these. Paste here. Equals boop times 1.7. 569.5. So you'll be movement speed capped now. Before would you be? What was it? 70? So yeah, if with Ags, it's a 30 movement speed buff. So Clinkz will be stronger. Definite win rate increases for Clinkz. More damage, more movement speed. Death Prophet base movement speed reduced by 5 because her base movement speed is arguably a little bit high, and she's also been picked a lot. She got picked a lot at ESL. Used very well by VP, so lowering her movement speed is fine. Exorcism movement speed reduced by some percentages to help fix. This is balance and boot changes. And Exorcism mana cost increased by 50. So just to stretch her mana a little bit weaker. Dragonite strength gain reduced. He was picked a decent amount. Elder Dragon Form Scepter no longer increases attack range. Okay. Almost nobody bought this, but it's fine. Drow's base armor reduced by 2. Holy shit, what are they blasting Drow for? Ags removes the cap. Is that reference to Clinkz? Probably. Base armor reduced by 2 is massive. Increased? Oh, okay, there we go. My bad. I was confused. I was like, she just got a huge nerf because her movement speed got dumpstered so hard by the percentage, the change difference with Agi not giving you movement speed. So I was expecting a Drow buff. Base armor by 2 is going to make her better at laning. She can fight to the death a little bit better. And even though she'll be slower, she won't necessarily die as quickly, which is a nice change. 2 armor is a pretty fucking big deal. This is probably just the beginning, I would guess. Searing Chain's cooldown increased by a little bit. Okay, this was like a long time coming, honestly. This is such a long time coming. Searing Chains is really good, guys. And Roots have just been buffed so much. 8-second cooldown was crazy. Slight Chains was 8-second limited. Now it's 10-second limited. Used to be 6 for Slight, 8 for Chains. Now it's 6 for Slight, 10 for Chains. This was necessary. Like, it's fucking crazy. You get that talent to the left, and the duration would be 4 seconds. So 4 out of 8 seconds, you could Searing Chains 2 different people, which is bonkers. But now it is 4 out of 10. That is a much more fair number, I think, considering how good Roots are right now. Keeper of the Light, Blinding Light cooldown increased. Coddle has been picked a decent amount, and Will-O-Wisp cooldown increased as well. So basically, just to make Blinding Light a little bit weaker as a early spell, basically. Once it was 14 seconds, this is basically reversing what made Coddle pretty usable in the first place, was that you had a pretty spammable ability with Blinding Light at level 1, because the cooldown was pretty low, and you could make it lower with Chakra Magic. Now you can't do that as well. Still a usable skill, but it's going to make Coddle's laning stage feel a lot worse. This is basically like what, right after TI, they buffed this on Coddle, and then all of a sudden Coddle became like the hero. So this is like reversing a long trend. Pulse Nova damage is going up late game. The numbers look pretty cool. Makes Leshrac even better against illusion heroes than he was before. Part of the reason I think they're doing this, that they did this, is because you don't get spell amp from your int anymore, and Lesh has a really high int gain. So he basically lost a lot of damage just from turning Pulse Nova on at any stage of the game. So he basically got a big damage reduction. But on the bright side, basically he farmed slower, probably is what it was. It wasn't so much that it didn't do as much damage to enemy heroes, it was that his ability to kill creeps rapidly got decreased. It cost more mana to do the same amount of damage as before, so he probably had more mana problems. So by upping the damage here, they are probably, it might give Lesh, it's probably going to give a buff to Lesh against enemy heroes, I would assume. But it's coming back up to par against creeps, is what's happening, which I think is ultimately probably good. Lone Druid level 25 talent reduced from Spirit Bear base attack time to lower, so it's a little bit less crazy how fast your bear can attack, which is kind of an interesting change, but sure, go for it. Maybe the win rate compared to the other talent was just way too good. Attack animation improved for Luna. Cool. So it'll make it easier to last hit with her early game. They probably needed to fix it. Part of the reason this probably came so late was because her passive used to give her agility for a while there. So once they removed that and became raw damage, it probably just felt a little bit too weak to play her. And once players pinpointed this a little bit, they probably feel better about playing her now. So her laning stage is going to be just a little bit easier. It's going to be, you can attack, move better, stuff like that. Nightstalker base movement speed reduced by 5, so which is fine. They needed to do this because he gets a percentage-based movement speed from his passive. So if they kept his movement speed pretty high and boots also give movement speed, then it would have made him. He's still probably going to be way too fast, I would guess. Probably still going to be way too fast, but Nightstalker is straight up faster after this patch, without a doubt. Should we do math? 40 movement speed. Used to have 30 movement speed or 300 movement speed plus boots. Oops. And then equals this times point, was it 2.2? Oh, shit, move the shit out of the way. 2228. I'm gonna write this down. 22. 40. Was it 44? Yeah, 34. 28, 34, 40. Okay, and then we'll do some fancy $ shit. Oops, not that. Did I fuck this up? I fucked up everything. It should be B5. B5 times this plus $C $5. Okay, that's definitely not right. B5 times, oh, I did 1.22. It should be 0.22. That's why I plus C5. There we go. Okay. And then I can copy, drag this down basically, and then just change the values to this over here. All right, that's not right either, because these should be decimals. Sorry guys, 1 second. Okay, 6. So this is your movement speed scaling before. Now we need to do it again. Times that times that. Okay. So basically, copy this here and change this to B10 plus 45, except the move speed is lower. And then this goes like this. I just got to confirm these numbers are right. Nope, because this needs to be B10. B10, F10 times F10 plus C5, which I think this is correct. Okay, it's literally the same. All of this work. Valve did this already. And if my numbers are correct, B10 times F10, which is the percentage. Oh, this is wrong, actually. It should be C. Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought it had to be faster. C10 would be this one times F10, which is the percentage, plus, yeah, plus the base movement speed. Okay, so these are the new movement speed values for Nightstalker. I know you can't see column F. They're just the multipliers for what Hunter in the Night gives. It's 0.22, 0.28, 0.34, 0.40. So these are the movement speed differences. Nightstalker is faster. He's faster at all levels once he has boots. Like straight up movement speed buff there. As predicted. Just wanted to prove it. That's all. That's all. And it's not like a huge amount. It's like 15, 16 movement speed late game. Can you buy me Excel? I don't know. That sounds like a fucking waste of money. I'd rather just have $100. I get that it improves your life slightly, but don't you have to buy it every year? It's not like literally every year. It's not. I don't want to pay for that shit. Is Excel online? Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm good. I genuinely would rather you save your money than me have Excel for free. It would hurt me for you to pay $100 for something so not necessary. It bothered that like, save your money. Or give me $100. I'll take it. Yo, if you gave me $5, I literally $5 in my bank account would be more value than for me, in my mind, than you buying me Excel for $100. I'd rather take your $5. I get that Excel is better, but there's no way it's worth the money to me. That's all. That is the cost difference. That's how much of a fucking waste it is, in my opinion. I just use Google or Google Sheets and Google Drive when needed. Movement speed for Ogre Magi. All right, let's pull out the fucking spreadsheet, guys. All right, Ogre Magi is about to be stupid fast, guys. Dummy fast, dummy thick fast. 290. Okay, he's a slow boy. 290 movement speed. Here's your movement speed before. But now we can get rid of these complicated fucking tables. Delete this. Delete this. Delete this. Or maybe... I guess I could have still kind of done it. 7. So it used to be 8, 10, 12. 0.08.
Hooray!
0.10. 0.12. 0.14. Is that right? Yep. And now it's 0.07, 0.09, 0.11, 0.13. Okay. And movement speed based on new times the multiplier plus this. Okay. Actually, this is great. My Nightstalker equations are going to function still. Is it really the same? B5 times the multiplier plus your movement speed. But the difference though, so this is brown boots. So basically with brown boots, Ogre is about the same. But what we need to do is do a third one where he's got them tranquils, which is 70, I think, right? This needs to be C15 now. Wow, 6 more movement speed with tranquil boots. Oh my god. Incredible. So they're faster. Oh, you're right, my numbers are wrong. Sorry. Maybe it's not good. 6 more. So it's a little faster. But basically the same. But what about with a windlace, guys? What if we get a windlace as well? Change this to 90. Change this to 20. Drag this crap down. Ooh, an extra 2.9 movement, 2.6 movement speed. Is that right? No, that can't be right. It's got to go up way more than that. Because I just increased my movement speed by 20. How's it not way faster? C20 times that multiplier plus this. You're right. It is decreasing. This doesn't make sense. Oh, I see why. Okay, I know what's wrong. I didn't change my other dollar sign this whole time. This needs to be C10 also. $15. Oh shit, there we go, baby. Okay, that looks a little bit more like what I expected. Okay, sick. Using the dollar signs made things more complicated, basically. If I would have just put 290 here 4 times and 335 here 4 times, the equations would have been easier to copy, basically. That's how I fucked myself, by trying to be a little bit fancy with dollar signs. Anyways, so there it is. So, brown boots versus, here's the movement speed change. He is basically the same, a little bit faster, and then with level 4 bloodlust, moderately faster, but the more movement speed you stack, you're going to be stupid fast again, like dummy thick fast. Like here's bloodlust with tranquil boots and a windlace. I'm now 429 movement speed on Ogre Magi. Ogre is back. Ogre is 100% back. Alright guys, Ogre Magi, play him in your pubs. Tranquil boots, windlace, run fast, do your shit. Do Nightstalker again? Yeah, I probably should, huh? Nightstalker's going to be way faster because the equation's not going to be wrong. Alright, let's try to fix Ogre, Nightstalker. 0.22, 0.2628, fuck. 2834, 0.34, 0.40. Is that right? Okay. For Nightstalker, who has a movement speed of 295. Oh, wait, in the past he was 300, and then he became 295. 295. 295. Tranquil Boots Nightstalker, guys. And then copy, paste. Yes, oops. Copy, paste. Yes. Copy, paste. Yes. These all right? Okay, so Nightstalker difference. He is 11 faster, it appears. Nightstalker Tranquil Boots 511. Nightstalker Tranquil Boots Windlace 539. That's without phase. Phase is probably better. Tranquil is a 75 movement speed. God damn. Everything was wrong. Now I have to change it back into Ogre Magi again. 546 Nightstalker Tranquil Boots Windlace. Anyways, yeah. We're going to be quick ones. Game's going to feel weird when everybody's this fast, but alright, where are we at? Outworld Devour, Arcane Orb damage increased by a percentage, good for him. Fire Spirit's cooldown increased, nerfed the Phoenix because he's been picked a lot. Supernova, Scepter upgrade no longer allows you to cast Sunray, which is probably fair. OG abused this, they were not the only team. Level 20 talent change to Sunray during Supernova. Oh, that's cool, it's just going to be a talent now. I like that one a lot better, actually, because the Supernova stun duration is kind of cool, but it's like so unreliable that it kind of feels like you're not grabbing a good talent that level unless you get the Icarus cast type and like it. So being able to just Sunray during Supernova, I think, is excellent. It's going to feel a lot better if you're not farmed and you get that talent. You're like, oh shit, I can do something else during Supernova, you know? Just do the ulti and the Sunray and things like that. Big nerfs to Pugna support, basically. The duration for Netherward is going to be heavily reduced. Netherward was too good when they buffed it. It just drained a lot of mana, basically got you your mana back. But now it's not going to be, you can't just abuse one skill point in lane anymore. It's still going to be good in fights, but not as abusive if you leave it at one skill point. And Decrep is also, if you want to max out Netherward now to make it more usable, then you're sacrificing on Decrepify. So most people still max Decrep pretty rapidly. Like mid Pugnas, I guess, in the past. It's going to be harder for mid Pugnas, basically, to go like 4-1-1. They can't both abuse Netherward and also get the same benefits out of like fully upgraded Decrepify. So I think this is only fair. It's going to make it harder for Pugna to make nice plays. It's going to be harder to initiate on Pugna because you have to get way closer. Like 400, 500 cast range is nothing. It's going to be very easy for people to outrange you. With that said, Pugna is a speedy little skeleton man, so Boots is going to make him very fast already. I guess technically old Boots are better for Pugna, but needed nerfs to basically reduce the hero a little bit when he's been abused at the highest level by the best team in the world. Base movement speed reduced by 5 for Razor. Storm Surge ally movement speed is reduced by 1 percentage point. So Razor's base movement speed pretty bad, but he should be faster now because of the fact that Boots are better. Let's plug Razor in. 285 and 0.03. Oh wait, he got double this, so it's 0.06 for him. 0.10, 0.14, 0.18. Copy these. And then this is the new one, so 280, 280, 280. Thank God for dollar signs. So movement speeds comparison, slightly faster with just Boots' speed. If you get a Tranquil Boots, because you're a madman, you will be massively faster. So something Boots of Travel Razor is like probably back on the menu again. There was a period of time where it was basically busted. If you went like drum BOTs, you were like the fastest boy on the lane. So I expect to see that build back again. This doesn't include the speed he got from agility, actually. It's a good point. So he was probably faster before here. His agility gain is not great, in fact. 2.1 per level, but you're right. He was a little bit faster before because of the agility. That's something that I haven't been taking into account at all in these spreadsheets. But Razor is going to be insanely much faster than he was before, without a doubt, which was basically the case before because he had a lot of percentage movement speed. You just buy like some windlace items, pair it with your aura. Did I reduce the numbers? No, I didn't actually. I fucked this up. Sorry. Hooray. 1 second. I copied it down all the way, but I didn't update for the... Okay, so... Still way faster. This is with Tranquils. If I change... This is 95. How much does BOTs give again? It's like 100 something. 110. So if we change that to BOTs... Fucking... Where's my R's? I'm new to spelling, guys. If we change this to 110... This is our movement speed. So this is without a windlace. You're going to be running around at 452 movement speed. If we add a windlace, and it becomes 130. Then we go 475. If we add a drum and a windlace to go to 50, assuming windlace are still 20, we're talking about a 498 monster. Without slows, which is fucking crazy. So yeah, Razor's going to be stupid fast. Like, just straight up stupid fast. Which is probably going to make me play him again, actually. It sounds more fun. Slardar sprint speed reduced by a little percentage bit. And the sprint's river speed. Slardar's almost for sure going to be way faster. These percentage reductions are not enough. I don't know why they're only touching these down by little percentages. I feel like there's... Like, Slardar's a hero that was still played a little bit. Maybe he's not played that often, but... Like, Slardar's going to be stupid fast. Bulldoze movement speed, they only dropped this by 2 as well. Like, part of it is this. Like, before you get boots, these numbers shouldn't decrease that much. Because otherwise, it'd be a nerf pre-boots. But once you get boots, these numbers are going to be way good. They're all 2% less. I don't know. 2% is too small. I feel like they... I don't know if they just did it lazily or they just wanted to shake up the game. I mean, in some ways, that's like, look, I can be neurotic and say, like, here's the best hero in the game, here's the worst hero in the game. Why would you reduce them all by 2%? You should reduce these ones up here by more than these ones. Or if these guys are about to get a massive buff from this and jump up to here, obviously they should be reduced by more than 2% to make sure that it's not as... You want to get them all right in the middle, right, technically. But in this, and also, it's also better for the game if you shake shit up once in a while. So it could also just be a conscious decision that they're just saying, like, we don't want all the heroes to necessarily be right in the middle. It's okay to have outliers a little bit because it makes the game more fun. So for me, somebody that likes playing Razor but hasn't played him in like months, I might be more likely to be like, oh man, I'm going to rediscover my love for Razor now that he's really fast again. And that's going to allow them to, again, buff and nerf the game around it. So even though these numbers seem inadequate to me, it could be a conscious decision to make it fine in that way. So, yeah. Void Spirit getting a monster nerf, 5 damage reduced. Get fucked, you piece of shit. That's not going to matter. It's 5 damage, it's good. And the final change is my dog is going to bark. Okay. Vampiric Aura damage reduced. This is pretty significant because this gets multiplied by 1.5. So let's pull out the spreadsheet one last time. I don't want to delete all this hard dollar sign work. God, it's hard to type on the numpad or on the numbers quickly. 4, 10, 16, 22 equals boom times 1.5. There's our damage differences. 3 less late, 3 less early. Basically 3 less at all levels. Cool. Pretty easy. So most importantly, it's going to be a little bit harder to last at level 1 with Vampiric Aura. 6 damage is still good, but... And that's the patch. So yeah, abuse movement speed things. If you guys want heroes or ideas for stuff to abuse right now, so that you can win games and have fun, what you should do is pick heroes that have percentage-based movement speeds changes in their kits. So basically, look at this list and say, hey, okay, I'm gonna, like, this is literally like who to pick. Pick Spirit Breaker, Slardar, Razor, Ogre, Magi, Nightstalker. Who else? Maybe Death Prophet. Clinkz is going to be busted. He didn't get a percentage. Like, Clinkz is going to be definitely going to be better, I imagine. He's going to be so fast. Broodmother. Probably Bloodseeker. Maybe Batrider. Surge Bar Charge, much worse. It should be better. Well, it's going to be better, I think. Is Surge percentage? Oh, no, it's raw. Yes, it'll be worse. I thought one of these was a percentage, but it wasn't. Alright, one more fucking chart. Okay. Delete this garbage. God, he has so many fucking... Well, this is percentage based, so it's probably still fast. It's probably still going to be really fast. I'd almost rather just demo it than have to add like 5 numbers together. No, they changed Darkseer percentage. Create hero. So sure. Like, you're still fast. You'll get more bonus from Bulldoze now. See, 428 versus... That's the main thing, is that you're just going to be way faster with Bulldoze than you were in the past, because of boots. So before, this would give you, like, literally 45 movement speed or something. Now it gives you 45 here, but you get an extra 30% from it. So, that's like an extra 15 or something. So basically buying these, buying like movement speed things on this hero is just going to be way better. Probably phase included. Like phase on the Spirit Breaker is just straight up better. Because before you wouldn't get as much movement speed. Because it was based on your base. So, yeah. Something like phase Bulldoze. Like, look how quick this is. It's pretty quick. Bloodseeker is definitely faster. Oh, it seemed like I was faster walking than... I mean, I'm fast, but... Yeah, Bar is going to be stupid fast now. Nah, that's faster for sure. That's pretty close. Oh, it actually says, doesn't it? $900. Oh yeah, way faster. 500. Different. Okay. How do you win games at 2K when you're mid and you want to push objectives but your supports are AFK and your jungle hitting creeps? You should always prioritize pushing creep waves in lanes if you can. And your creeps will hit towers. And then you should farm jungle camps in between. And keep doing this rapidly. And if there's a fight, you can show up to it. Otherwise, you should go push lanes in other places. And by doing that, you're going to get yourself a lot of farm. But you're still going to pressure lanes a little bit. And then you just have to ask them to sit near you, basically. Think about all the slows. All buff now? It's not bad. That's a good point, actually. I assume so. I actually don't know mechanically how slows work. Is it based on your total movement speed or your current? I feel like it would be current, but... Let me search the Dota 2 wiki. Slows. It says affects movement speed by percentage. So movement speed formula. No, this is movement speed. It's this. I'm not sure. Slows won't be any different. That's my assumption. That sounds like too big of a change. Will tread still be the boot choice for Spirit Breaker because of the attack speed, or will people prioritize movement speed? I mean, phase is pretty good. Genuinely on Spirit Breaker, looking at it. Like, more movement speed is more damage from bashes and stuff. It's actually kind of huge. I'll show you guys. Do something like this.
Prepare for battle.
Upon this plane.
151. Like, just by using phase, I did 30 more damage. That's huge. That's so big. Especially for, like, melee range charges. Is with the windlace. It's 5 more damage. 187. Like, it's a lot of damage. And I mean, this is basically the same as before, it's just a little bit better now. $208 now. Like, that's a real nuke. And he's got magic resistance, so this is like a 300 damage nuke. Just about. That's 174, which is more like a 250 nuke, so... Yeah, this shit's pretty good. Which speed was that different? 956 versus... I'll wait for this to run out. Like, just the speed difference is so massive. 200 for having phase boots or not. Like, just playing around with this and thinking about it a little bit, there's like no way you don't buy phase boots on bar even before. I feel like phase boots has got to be better. Because the speed boost is just ridiculous. The damage that you get from it is massive. It's like 200 movement speed difference to charge in. Like, does this look intimidating at all? It's so slow. It just looks so mediocre, I feel like. So much harder to react to the high speed. Yeah, if you get a spider legs or a faded brooch or something. Obviously treads is excellent for the attack speed, but like the raw armor is really good too because you have really high HP. Your strengthening is, especially your starting strength and your armor on Spirit Breaker are just excellent, so I don't know. I probably almost always buy treads on this guy, but yeah, drums active would be really good too. You can make heroes level 1 by choosing a different hero and then picking the same hero again. That's one way to do it. Okay, that's fun. That is the patch.